So that's it. Basically pretty easy, simple, works great. We're at the place in the build now where we're ready to put in our mailbox. There's a couple things you need to do before you put in your mailbox, and number one, you need to contact your U.S. Postal Service, because where you place it is going to be dependent on where they want you to place it. We just happen to be on a private road, so we actually have to place our mailbox on the last county road before our private road that comes into where we live. A couple things you also need to remember. 43 to 45 inches of height is what the mailbox needs to be. About 8 inches from a curb if there's a curb or the side of the road. So you want to make sure that you have these things in place. Otherwise, they will make you redo it. Years ago, before I knew any better, I put my mailbox at the end of my driveway. And that was on the left-hand side of the road. And that did not work. I actually had to dig it back up and put it on the other side of the road. So always check with them first before you do anything. All right, so let's go to the store and get the stuff to put in our mailbox.
So we're picking out our mailbox. It's so exciting.
Naturally, to make sure that so if that box is...
You might need the bigger post for that. We got the right one. Yes, to the mailbox, the one we love.
It's so exciting to buy a mailbox.
It is exciting to buy a mailbox.
I just
for
love
real.
a mailbox.
It is exciting because that means that we're actually going to have a house.
We've got everything ready to go put in the mailbox. We are actually using the easy spike, and what you do is you nail that, or you push that down in and your post goes in it. We use this on the last mailbox in the subdivision, which you can check out that video if you have to keep your HOA happy. That's a quick and easy way to do that, so we're going to use that as well. First thing we're going to do before we go to the site is we are going to cut this from the bottom where the mailbox will sit to 45 inches. Then what we'll do is we'll use the chunk that we cut off to use as our hammering on the spike. All right, so we're going to measure down 45 inches. And actually I'm going to go 44 just in case that little thing sits above there. It needs to be between 43 and 45. Need the handy dandy square. And then so these little 4.5 inch saws or whatever they are, don't, or 5.5, don't go all the way through. I didn't want to drag out the extension cord because it's really muddy out right now, so I'm just going to go down each outer side and then bust it off. One of the convenient pieces about cutting this off is you're actually going to use this to hammer in the post with so that it gets down to the depth that you need it, which is basically all the way down. All right, so I'm going to go in about 8 inches off the road, so that normally it'd be 8 inches off of a curb. So I'm thinking I'm just going to kind of start out right there, just initially. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it to make sure that when the post office worker comes up, their tires don't go off into the dirt. But the way this road works, as you go up a little further, there's kind of an outer area where you can turn onto the skinny private road. So I don't want to impede that. I also don't want trailers as they swing knocking my mailbox over. So probably want it back like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to move this back some because I need to go a little further. I need to go like right there.
I agree.
Because I want this off of the area that they normally drive.
And remember, the mailbox comes out off the end of that.
Oh, it does? Okay, so let's grab the mailbox and see how much further, and then we'll kind of measure out.
Like this.
If we go back about right here.
Yeah, that sticks out too, so.
We'll go back here a little further.
Yeah, that feels much better right there.
Right there? You know, 195 pounds of me. So we got this severe weather mailbox mounting board. Not sure how severe weather this is, but nonetheless. So, it looks like it came with some screws. I didn't know that, so that's good. First thing I'm going to do is just going to remove the paper. Looks like it's got pretty close. Alright, so next thing is your mailbox mounting board. Typically what you're doing is you're putting this kind of on the center. What happens is, with your mailbox mounting board, just to give you an idea so you can see it under here, what you're doing is you're lining it up. You're coming through these sides with some screws to catch on that board. So basically what you're wanting to do is leave it out. If I'm going to put the board like that, see how much room I've got at the bottom there? I'm going to do about that much room there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it. This is not rocket science. It's not like you have to be exact. So I'm going to screw this down. And the reason I'm screwing this down first is because I want to be able to look at it and make sure that it's going to sit appropriately. So I'm only going to put 2 screws in to begin with. First screw is going back in here, and then I'm eyeballing and making sure it's equal distance from the edge. I'm going to screw that in. And the reason I put 1 there is now I can look on the end here and adjust this equal distance as well by eyeballing it. So what I'm going to do is get down here, I'm going to eyeball this till it looks like it's pretty close to being even, which it does. I'm going to put 1 more screw in here. Now, I have not secured this in the base as of yet because I want to put the box in there and make sure that it's going to be where I want that. So I'm going to get down here and eyeball my holes for screwing everything in, and that's going to work out real well. That's just about perfect. Take the box back off. Now that this plate's the way I want it, I'm going to put 2 additional screws in just to hold this platform in place. My battery's wanting to go dead on this one. Okay. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, there's some small holes down on the bottom. I'm going to put some lag bolts in to hold the whole thing in, but I'm going to use some small deck screws with the star bit to basically kind of get it straightened up the way I want it. And again, I'm not putting a level on it. I'm not getting crazy because over time it's going to probably look wonky anyway. But what I am going to do is try to eyeball things and get them so that it's nice and even. So what I'm going to do is have Stacy step back and tell me when things are looking straight from this standpoint and from this standpoint. Does that look straight?
You know, go to the left a little bit more.
I'm getting ready to put my lag bolts in, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my deck screw to go in a little ways and just give me kind of a pilot hole, just to make it easier for getting the lag bolt in. So, get all my poison plants out of the way. All right, we'll do the same thing on the other side. For this, I'm going to use a lag bolt. It's got a 9/16 head on it, and I'm going to drive it in with my little stubby. If that doesn't work, I've got an impact wrench so I can take it the rest of the way. Okay. Same thing on the other side. All right, so we got that in there. That's about as steady as even concrete will be because you still have a little bit of flex in the wood. So that's actually real good and a lot less hassle than having to mix up concrete somewhere out on here. And also when we use the foam before, the foam works pretty good, but this is just a lot easier to pound it in.
All right, so before we put the mailbox on top of here and get it screwed in, we're gonna go ahead and put some super deck and stain this just because we want it to look nice. The wood's a little green right now and we realize that, but we have so much to do with all of the family compound stuff that we're working on that in our experience, if we don't go ahead and do it, we may not get back to it. So we're just gonna go ahead and put some of this on here. Just give it a nice color so it looks nice out here and we got a little bit of finished look to it. All right, so we have the stain on, so now we're ready to put the mailbox top on. And I just want to point out that I really love the Sherwin-Williams Super Deck stain. It's the transparent stain and it just covers really well and has a really nice color to it. And let me just say, we've used a lot of stains over the past couple months trying to get things to the colors that we like and the coverage, and this is really good.
All right, so we're gonna set our mailbox on. And now it's time to secure our top with our screws. So that's it. Basically pretty easy, simple, works great. Got all your stuff. Only thing now, you just need to get your letters on there. I drew some lines on just to give myself a guide. Taylor and Eric are also building out on the compound, and they're gonna ask me how to do a mailbox. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna refer you to this video, Taylor and Eric. So that's where you're gonna learn how to do your mailbox. Also, remember, doing things yourself, as always, just allows you to save money. It allows you to be free. We'll see you in the next project.